What's going on, you guys? I'm back. The MCC channel is back, and we are going to be in full swing on the build-up to the next MCC. We still don't know when that is. We have no idea. However, Scott said it's before summer, and we only have a couple of months left until summer, so we might as well start firing up the MCC content train as quick as we can. And we are going to be coming out with at least one video a week. So if you're excited for that, make sure to subscribe to this MCC Analysis and History channel. Today, we are tackling something I wanted to make absolutely months ago, and we are finally going to do it. And that is, how did the Carollers go 9-0 in BattleBox in MCC 13? So, if you are not familiar with MCC 13, it was the Christmas edition of MCC and the last one that we actually got to play in. The Carollers were the team of Sapnap, DanTDM, Kratzy, and Wisp. A team which, on paper, I thought would do very well. However, I actually didn't pin them going 9-0 in BattleBox. After watching this video back so that I could see how they did it before I made this analysis, it became pretty clear how they did it, actually. It wasn't just a huge showing of individual skill. It was great communication, good teamwork, and a pretty solid plan from the get-go. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is watching through the round, and then I'm going to go back and break it down. So we're going to hear their play-by-play, and then I'm going to go through and talk about it as well. So one thing I found very interesting, and this is something that is crucial in BattleBox, is that they were discussing where things were at the start of the game. Now, any team that's coming into this with a strategy has probably seen the MCC teaser video they do right before the event, usually on the Thursday or the Friday. We get a video that's like, here's some of the updates that we're getting in the next event. And you usually get like a sneak peek of a couple of the maps, and you can kind of see some things. In this instance, I believe we could see that there were damage potions in the map, which are going to be very, very useful. And that's something that was pointed out really quickly by this team.
Oh, okay. So yeah, where is the potion of harming?
Right at the top of the water elevator.
Sides.
Yeah, on both sides, of course, yeah.
So, just quickly working out that both sides had access to a damage potion. Now, honestly, I don't think I saw a team use the damage potion as good as this team. Also, we're watching this entire thing from Sapnap's perspective, as I believe Sapnap was potentially the most important part of this team winning so convincingly. And you'll see why as we get into this. Everyone in the team did their part, and in fact, you'll see at the end, all 4 members of this team finished in the top 5 players, which is insane. And again, it's not really a spoiler, because if you're watching this, you probably know what happens here. But if you don't want to know what happens, go ahead and skip about 15 seconds ahead, because I'm about to tell you something very interesting. Not only did they go 9-0, they actually got the maximum points available from BattleBox. They killed all members of every team and placed all the wool in every single round. So, this was really the first time we were getting to look at what items were available for this BattleBox. Each BattleBox, the items would usually change, and it can be anything from, as you can see here, crossbow with quick charge 1, a wooden axe with knockback 2, a potion of jump boost, and this time +8 arrows. The key thing at the start of this is working out who is going to take what.
Oh, what are these? I will go with the axe. Oh, I'll go with. Yeah, I'll just go with the axe. A little PvP action here.
I'm happy going with either.
So this team decides that Sapnap is going to take the quick charge crossbow, Kratzy is going to take the knockback 2 axe, Dan takes the +8 arrows, leaving Wisp to take the jump potion. Now the jump potion's super useful in this map because you actually either need to go up to the top of the map over here, you can see on the either side, and drop down to where you place the wall, or you have to use a jump potion to get up to the side, from the side there. So those with the jump potions are going to have easier access to the middle than those who do not. So for me, before this event, I knew of Wisp as a content creator, but I had no idea whether or not he was actually good at the game. I knew that Kratzy was a strong PvPer, and I knew that Sapnap was as well. And to be honest, even though I've known of Dan for years and years, I had no idea of his actual skill level in the game, which was what left this team in such a mysterious place for me. I think in my initial predictions, I said they'd come sort of 3rd, 4th in this game mode, which obviously they went on to prove me wrong. Now, the first round that you're going to see here is actually different to almost every other round that you're going to see. So we're going to play the round out, and then I'm going to go back and break it down for you. So please enjoy round number 1. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the round, and as something happens that I want to talk about, I'm going to pause it and talk about it that way. I was going to let the whole round play out and then talk about it afterwards, but that just means the video is going to be super duper long, and I'd rather do it this way. So let's get into the first round of BattleBox.
Head down towards the middle because I have knockback and I'm just gonna get axe grid.
To the right.
You guys, yeah, I'm
gonna go up the water elevator. I want to go up this.
They're already bowing. Be careful.
I got the potion of harming.
H-bomb's really good at this, so be careful.
Sylvie's going for mid.
Yep, shot once.
Okay, so this is something genuinely really important. We get a good view here that the other team are actually rushing across to where Kratzy is stood. Now, Sapnap got hit once by the crossbow, and it's half of his HP is gone, which is insane. Now, what Sapnap does here, which is really good, is he actually backs off out of the fight. Instead of just trying to take another hit or anything like that, like he backs out of the fight because Sap knows that being alive is the most important thing to his team right now.
Shot Sylvie. Sylvie's low.
H-bomb's
you can see here, Sylvie's actually taken out by Kratzy and H-bomb is taken out by Dan, as Smallish Beans is going to jump for the middle and just try and get some wall down.
The axe is ridiculous.
They're going in. Wait,
nice little kill there, using the lingering, using the damage potion as well, which is the first of a few times that we're going to see this team get kills with the potion. Now with Joel in the middle, it's a nice easy cleanup for all 4 of the team are still alive.
He's one shot. He's one shot.
Joel has a valiant attempt.
All right, we got him. Just fill
it.
It's in the mid.
And you can see here they actually didn't even go and pick up their team's lingering potion. So both of them went up the other side, meaning that they had no one to take control of upper on their side. What the other team here should have done to potentially have a better chance is the 2 players up top, I believe Ollie and Joel, should have rushed Sapnap, who was on his own. If the 2 of them pushed him, at the very least, he probably would have had to drop down from upper, which would have left them having full control from above them to use the bows and arrows and stuff to rain down. It might not have changed the outcome of the round, but I think that's the best thing they could have done in this time. But the Carollers went on to do a very strong game 1. So we come to round 2, Carollers versus my team, the Emerald Elves. Now let me just say, this was probably one of my team's worst games. We were very disorganized. It was only game 2, and I think everyone was just still very boisterous. And I don't really think PvP was our team's forte. I mean, I think I'm okay at it, and then Tommy's pretty good as well. I'm not sure what Finn and Tubbo's background is with PvP. I have no idea. But they went on to Destroyers. Now, this is an important round because what you're going to see is the way Sapnap plays. It's very important, and you're going to see him do it multiple times throughout the event here. And it becomes one of the key reasons they're winning so many rounds. So let's play it out and so you can see what I'm talking about.
Just jumped, hit him in the feet with a crit, and they went flying. And
I like being that jump boost.
I don't want to. I'm not going to go up. I'm going to go on the left. I don't like going
jump
up there.
Boost is actually good for mid.
So what Senator said there is I'm going to go on the left. I think he means the right. But he said he doesn't like going up there. So last round, he went up this little water elevator here to fight up top. He decided he doesn't want to do that anymore. And that is a key strategy change that you're going to see.
I'm going to go for the Regs.
Okay, Tommy's going to bow spam, so just bear that in mind.
So this is important here. So whether Sapnap did this on purpose or not, goes into the right side of the building. So it looks like he's going to go up these stairs. But what he eventually does is...
Tubbo's got the jump boost up above.
Goes underneath.
Oh, Tubbo's going to die.
So Tubbo's very weak at this point.
Oh, I got hit.
And Finn gets destroyed as well by Sap. Sapnap pops off in this entire thing.
I hit Tubbo off. They got...
I'm on too hot side to run for a second,
Tubbo.
sorry.
Someone got to go for mid. How do you get to mid without
Tommy's still alive?
All right, Wisp, go for it. Just fill it.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot, I died.
Let's point out that I killed Wisp. No actual reason for pointing that out other than I just wanted to point out that I got a kill.
Sorry. I got two blocks in there.
And then I just tried to fill it in here and it just didn't work out at all. And Sapnap killed me as well. And the guys went on to just literally place the wall and again kill all 4 players and win the round. So not a remarkable round. Tubbo actually tried to do quite a good push but got hit by an arrow. And the way that Carollers is set up is very strong. It appears Kratzy's kind of sitting at the back with the bow until he works out who he wants to push with the axe. Dan is also staying at the back using a bow because he's taking the +8 arrows, whilst Sapnap and Wisp are kind of taking on the entry kill role. They're both sort of going out and hunting for the kills. So the third game is against the Teal Turkeys. As you can see from the leaderboard here, only 3 teams have won both of their rounds so far, and they've also killed everyone: Coral, Mint, and Teal. So this is a very important round because it's going to decide who gets to stay in first place. So a super important round for Carollers, and you're going to see here what Sapnap does throughout the rest of the event. So when Sapnap goes into this right building here, people assume he's going to come up these stairs because everyone was kind of taking control of the top. What Sapnap does instead is comes back down and jumps across the present. And you're going to see him do this multiple times. He gets a free kill on Eret here, basically. You know, like, Eret's out of it.
I'm dead.
Danny got killed by Illumina. This is probably the closest game. Kratzy also killed by Illumina there.
So low.
Ryan's no.
Nice.
Watch out for Illumina. Is he still in the game? Or is
The
he
lack
dead?
of fall
Ryan's down.
damage is also
Lumina's
crazy
still
in this
up
game
top.
mode.
Lumina's up top.
Yeah, I see him.
Wisp, go for him. Illumina's on top. He's going on you.
Oh shoot!
Sap up. You gotta go get Illumina. He's so low.
He's in mid.
So low.
He's on mid.
I don't know how regen works, but he was on 2 hearts.
So,
Guy, nice. Let's go.
again, that's probably the closest game they have. One of the closest games they have in this entire thing. And you can see that Illumina really popped off and did a bunch of kills to the other members of the team. But Sapnap remained calm and won his 1v1. It was basically a game of whoever hit an arrow first would have won that one. So really well played by Sapnap. But that strategy where he runs across the presence outside becomes a key strat that they use to easily get kills at the start of almost every round from here on out. So it's worth mentioning that I didn't see any other teams doing this. I've watched a few POVs of this. One other team kind of does the same strat as Sapnap, which you'll see later on in this. But this round 4, they're going up against the Pink Presence, which is Dream's team, which I believe is probably one of the teams that they were focused on beating. Dave Kratzy later says in this video, they've beaten most of the teams they were worried about. So I'm assuming they would have had 2 or 3 teams who they thought these teams could do really well. Let's see if we can beat them. And if we can probably beat everybody else. And this is one of those teams. So again, we see Sapnap coming out to the right and going straight to the presence. And look at this. Again, Scott completely unaware. Sapnap just 3 crits him out.
Tagged him again.
It's like completely free for Sap to keep going back there and getting a free kill. Now he's also behind Captain Sparkles.
Got him.
Where's
Dream's dead. Dream's dead.
Everybody's dead. And that's so quick. Like everybody just kind of won their 1v1s in that one. But again, the key thing is that Scott was using the bow at the back of the map. And most teams had a player who were doing this. Most teams had a player who were going to sit at the back with the 8+ arrows and rain down upon everyone else on the map. However, Sapnap had a direct counter to that no one was stopping. And what's crazy is people were seeing it. You saw there that Sapnap actually shot at Captain Sparkles as he went up the water elevator. But Sparkles must not have said to Scott that he was rushing across the map, because if he did, Scott could have reacted. But Scott didn't stand a chance. After you get that first crit in the back, there's probably no way you're coming back in that fight. So again, off the bat, you're going to see that same thing. Looks like he's going to go up the stairs. Instead, rushes across. Catherine's 5 HP already, so he gets a free kill there. And this time, it's actually a really clever play here by Sapnap. So he's got Mephs there, and he's got LD Shadow Lady. Now, they were saying at the start of this round how Quig was really cracked in BattleBox, but Mephs is also pretty well known for his PvP. So what happened here is because Mephs had his back turned and LD Shadow Lady was facing Sapnap, Sapnap decided to take the fight with Mephs while he had his back turned first before turning to try and fight LD Shadow Lady, which is just it's a really clever in the moment strategy by Sapnap to take out what he deemed the most dangerous player in the situation. So again, you see him, a couple of crits. Mephs can't even get his sword out by this point. Sapnap just completely frags out. He kills 3 people, and Wisp kills Quig with the magic potion.
I just got back there. Dude, I know.
So at this point, their morale's at an all-time high. They're round 5. They haven't dropped a round yet. They've barely even been killed. I mean, there was the one round versus Illumina where they, it was a close 1v1. But other than that, they've usually had 2 or 3 left alive at the end of every round. And it's a really dominant team performance from the Coral Carollers. What I think is cool here is I think it opens up the whole debate that there always is about whether or not teams have a leader character or whether it's sort of like a team effort. And I would say in this instance, it's kind of like a team of 4 people all just talking about what they're doing and communicating really well with what's happening during the game. There isn't one person saying, you do this, you do this, you do this. It's kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then someone else says, oh, you know what? Well, if you're doing that, then maybe I'll do this thing instead. And it's really good adaptive team play from Coral, which is something super important.
Really disgusting strat where I just get behind them and they just don't know where I'm at. I'm just critting.
Yeah, dude.
Right. So Sapnap just says that I've got this really disgusting strat where I'm getting behind them and they just don't know what to do. And that's exactly what he's doing. And I do think this team still could have won a lot of games if they were playing a different strategy. However, Sapnap's strategy in this is completely opening the games for them every single time. Within 10 seconds of the round starting, the Coral team have a man advantage, which is super, super valuable in this. So this one, another game that I'm sure Sapnap wanted to win because it was against George. I'm sure Sapnap has a bit of a in-game banter rivalry with Dream and George. So another important game. And again, were treated to the same thing from Sapnap. Run straight across. Ludwig actually got killed before he even got up there. But this time there's no one there, so he goes up behind and just gets a free kill on George, who's super weak. And you can see here, no one really stands a chance. This team, they basically just completely decimated. All 4 of them staying alive. Very, very quick round. And probably one of the last tough games that they have left. So this is Fundy's team. Fundy's team are the only other team I see do a similar strategy to Sapnap. So you see here, they're going out to the right. Look, if you looked across the way there, right as they were coming out, right here, I think it's Filza and Fundy are both running the same thing that Sapnap's been doing, but they're sending 2 people to do it.
We were staying back, 2 are in spawn.
But Kratzy and Dan were ready for it because of the calls coming in.
Phil's is gonna kill me. Yeah, Phil's is dead.
This time as well, because 2 people stood back, it actually stopped Sapnap's rush from being as effective. And for the first time in this event, Sapnap actually dies. Pretty crazy to get 7 rounds into BattleBox before having your first death.
I thought he was dead. I thought he died.
But again, we're in an interesting 2v1 situation here. Let's
go!
And look at that. Quackity gets shot by Wisp, and then Wilbur was killed by using the Potion of Harming. So again, Wisp clutches up. Probably arguably the closest game they've had so far. It was a 2v1 situation, and Wisp managed to clutch it up. So really well played, and all he had to do was finish off placing the wall, which they had 30 seconds to do. Another nice, clean win from the Carollers. So next up was the game against the Sapphire Simmers. The Simmers, notorious in BattleBox for being able to rush the wall and get it all placed. This map, however, stops that from happening. You can't just rush in and place the wall because you need the jump potion to get up, or you all have to come from above and jump down, which maybe would have worked, but without being able to rush, it's all going to come down to individual fights, and I would say it's fair to say that the Carollers are stronger individually than the Sapphire team were. So, again, you see the same strategy from Sapnap, but this time, he sees them rushing and has to jump in to stop. They still tried the rushing strategy. It, like, almost could have worked, honestly. But a pretty strong showing and a fast round from Coral. And this put them 8 wins, no losses. Now, their last round was not going to be an easy one to win. They were up against Pizza Hut's team, who were doing pretty well. I think they were sitting at 5th or 6th place right now. And in BattleBox, anything really can happen, so they were not taking it lightly.
We got this. No offense, but like, we beat better PvP teams.
But again, at this point, you just heard that. They are confident in themselves. They've beaten teams that they deem better at PvP. And, you know, from this team, I can't speak too much on it. Obviously, Grian, known as Grian the Dream Slayer. I don't know much about how Kara is a PvP, but I know False is really great with a bow, and Pete's generally good at everything in this game. He's an all-rounder. So not an easy final round to take 9-0. And again, here we are. That strategy of running across. Now, they did send someone to rush the wall, which arguably was debatable in this instance. I think they could have maybe had a better chance if they stood and fought. Satnam gets a clean kill there. Goes up top as well.
I'm out of arrows.
Coming down mid.
By the time he's got up there, most of the team is dead. And he manages to still get into the back line, where he finds 2 of them, not paying as much attention as they should be. Both die. And they 9-0 BattleBox. Now, I think I've done a fairly good job explaining of how this worked. Obviously, everyone played a huge part of this win. However, Sapnap was key to the way that they won. The fact that he got to the backline almost every single round and got at least 1 or 2 kills is insane. He was cleaning up constantly, leaving his team in an advantageous position. Now, yes, it did seem like most of the time every person was winning most of their 1v1s anyway, but perhaps the other team were in situations where they had to push unfavorable 1v1s because Sapnap was taking out players all the time. Interestingly, this was game 2, and I'd had a pretty bad game. I didn't even see this, but Scott said no top 10 for you, Callum. So Scott's BM, let that be known. And then you can see here, Carollers, huge lead. Like I said, getting the maximum points that they can get. And this doesn't happen very often. All 4 players were in the top 5 and Illumina. So Sapnap honestly smashing it. Some of the most points, I think, it could be the most individual points in BattleBox. I'm not entirely sure on that. But it definitely has to be up there with some of the most points that's ever been earned in a single game of BattleBox. It's 600 unmultiplied coins times by 1.5, leaving him with 900 points overall. So Sapnap was a key. This team worked really well. I think that they're all very similar players, so they got on really well, meaning that the team chemistry was really good. They all kind of had their idea of what they wanted to do, and they went and did it, and they executed it so well. To win 9-0 is actually insane. So a huge congratulations to the Coral Carollers. Hopefully you enjoyed me breaking this down. If you did and you want to see more, then make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see me go through next. But for now, that's going to be it. That is how the Coral Carollers went 9-0 in BattleBox in MCC 13. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Seapeekay, and I will see you guys in the next one.